Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Key. I am a beginner gardener. I am in Zone 8A. I've been gardening now for 2 years. This is my first year actually being more serious. Last season, I planted some things. This season, I'm starting to venture out, starting to plant um, or beginning a mini orchard per se. So, what we're doing today, we're going to plant. We're going to mix up some cocoa coir as well as we're going to plant some bare root bare root plants. So we're going to be planting peach, plums, blueberries today. So this is going to be my first video. We are inside today, being that it is raining, freezing rain, and it's extremely cold. So we're doing our very first video inside where it's nice and warm. So the reason I started gardening is because I wanted to try new things. I wanted to see if I was capable of growing certain things. So I started growing out small things, bell peppers from store seeds. Started out buying little small packets of seeds from the Dollar Tree, which I still buy seeds from the Dollar Tree. I also order seeds from other sources, Amazon included, just to name a few. So there are different areas to where you can buy your seeds from. Also, I'm trying different soils. I'm the kind of person to where I try things to see if it works. I'm still learning my way. It's never a right way or a wrong way to do things when it comes to gardening. So we're using potting mix, perlite, things of that nature to make the soil, very light. Because I plant in grow bags, I also use raised beds, is what I'm using right now. Well, a combination of raised beds as well as um, containers are my primary. The soil where I'm located at is very clayish and has rocks, so that does not work for me. So depending on your area, you may be able to use your native soil, or you can resort to container gardening, such as myself, or raised beds. So there are different ways to where you can garden, to make it work for yourself. This year is my first year using raised beds as well. So let's get started. So I've ordered cocoa coir. From when I've done my research, um, for especially when it comes to blueberry plants and fruit trees, you can use. I use specifically from my first year trying. I read peat moss, but I read peat moss. It works, but it also dries out quickly. From my research that I've done with cocoa coir, it's good with aeration as well as um, it does maintain. Well, it doesn't dry out as quickly. Okay, it doesn't dry out as quickly when it comes to planting certain things. So I've ordered some cocoa coir. This came from Amazon. Now there are different websites to where you can order certain stuff from. Okay, I've ordered things from Temu. I've ordered things from eBay. I've ordered things from Amazon. To me, they're pretty much the same sellers. Um, it's just they have different platforms on where you can get it from. Some platforms are cheaper than other platforms. Okay, so you just have to, see what's in your budget and then kind of go from there. This is the same cocoa coir they sell on Temu. Um, why? Because I remember the thing. So what are we doing? This is a 4 block. Each block is a pound and a half. So this equals to about 5 to 6 pounds of cocoa coir. Um, so we're going to use that today. Basically, what cocoa coir is, it's the coconut outer flesh that's shredded. So it's all natural. I mean, I don't use pest control per se. I may use BT if anything. I do use fertilizer to fertilize my plants, of course, but I don't use any direct pest control. So we should see what spring brings. But fall has not been. hasn't, given me any issues, just because it's still cold. Okay. So what I have here is two 15-gallon storage bins, and then I'm going to put 2 blocks of cocoa core in each bin. That way I can kind of quote unquote distrib- distribute evenly distribute the cocoa core in the soil. Okay. And then from what I've read, they say to put a few cups of warm water. From what I saw, a few cups of warm water to help because it expands. Okay, so it's not going to stay the way that it is now. It's going to expand, so you're going to end up with more cocoa core than what you have. So it's going to expand. Um, and this is used to maintain the pH balance in the soil, so it's real good for fruit trees. From what I saw, I also use Chat GPT to help guide me in a certain direction on what to use for certain plants. But it's so each block is a pound, almost a pound and a half, 1 pound and 1.4 pounds. So it's used to neutralize the pH in your soil, which is good for blueberries and fruit trees, because they, like pH. So it's kind of almost, it reminds me of the consistency of like particle board. If you know what particle board look like, it's very light and a little dusty. Okay. So we're just gonna break that up. And again, this is my first year trying cocoa core. So we're gonna see how it worked with my fruit trees that we're gonna be planting today. And I'm not sure how long this particular video is gonna be. Um, it may be a 2-part series or a different video, but hey, we're gonna roll with the punch, right? So once I get done with this, breaking it up, I'm gonna put probably a pitcher, a juice pitcher of warm water in here. We're gonna let it expand. And then I, bring y'all back to see how it expanded. So I mean, you can buy fine fruit trees, kind of anywhere, right? I found ordered some online. Again, this is my first year planting fruit trees. So you can, find your local nursery, big box stores for your fruit trees. I've got my fruit trees from different places. I've ordered some from Temu, which, with Temu, they are a local, meaning US based nursery. Not everything comes from overseas. So I ordered, some from them, which was a good price. I got 3 fruit trees, which is I'll show y'all, um, for under $20. One is a 3-year bare root peach tree, and then the other ones are 3-year bare root, 2 different types of apple trees. One is a Honey Crisp apple tree. The other one is I believe, a Red Delicious apple tree. Because certain plants need a different variety to cross pollinate, is what I'm learning. So I got 2 different types of apple trees. Now the peach tree that I have, which is a honey peach tree. That one is self-fertile. Self-fertile basically means that, what size grow bags are these? I believe, okay, these are 5 gallons. So I got 5 gallon, which is we want to use for something else. But the honey peach tree is self-fertile, meaning that you don't need another or a different variety to self-pollinate. Some trees are self-pollinated, meaning that you only need one tree of its own to be able to produce fruit. Some blueberries are self-pollinating, which is I have ordered. I'll show y'all as we go along. Self-pollinating. Okay, so we got the 2 blocks of the cocoa core broken up into each 15-gallon storage bin. For me, I find it easier to do it this way. That way, I can kind of evenly distribute the soil to make sure it's kind of. I mean, everything is going in the same thing, but I want to make sure it's evenly distributed. So I have 2 blocks each of cocoa core broken up. I'm going to add the warm water, 1 pitcher of warm water to each one to allow it to expand, and then we're going to come back. This is the pitcher. Yeah. This is the pitcher of warm water that I have. I mean, you can. I may not even use the whole pitcher because it's gonna swell, and you can always add perlite to it. So we have the water in for each container, and I just have some garden gloves real quick to not get my hands dirty because we're gonna get them dirty later on when we go to pot. And we're just gonna mix this up, okay? All right, so I got the water in there, and let's kind of mix it up. Cause very this okay. Let me like you're gonna find some pieces of cocoa because it's organic. Okay, let me put on my other one. It get a little messy. Let's see. All right. So what I was saying is it's organic, so you're gonna have pieces of coconut. Okay, you can keep it in or you can throw it out. We're gonna place it in that box for now. And we're gonna see how this uh work out. Okay. And you can add perlite. We just trying things, y'all. Like I say, um, to see how things work. May have to add a little water in this one. To see how it works. Like to have aerated soil, moist soil, but not waterlogged. So you have to be careful on the type of soil you use with your different plants, including container planting and raised bed. I've learned because before I used to use garden soil. Garden soil is too heavy and it will suffocate the roots. So I've switched over to potting mix, and I find it's very light because it has perlite already in there. But I'm going to add some more perlite to these 2 containers so we can plant the fruit trees. All right, so let's do that. Got some perlite from Walmart. We got some perlite from Walmart. Shop around, you know, see what store or location you could garden on the budget. I got these 2 bags of perlite. They're 8 dry quarts, under $5 a bag. Under $5, well, per bag. So this came to like $11 for both of them, which I think is a good deal. Okay. So like I said, we're gonna add some perlite in here. You know what? We're gonna add perlite last, okay? Because we're gonna put some soil in there as well. All right, so this is the potting mix I use. I got this one from Walmart. It's the Garden Expert. Let me move it into frame so y'all can see. Garden Expert potting mix, used for potted plants. So we're using we're going to be doing potted plants again, like I say. Also use this in raised beds, okay? Because like I say, it's very aerated. I add perlite. I use this and add perlite. To me, I mean, right now, yeah, it's not. I'm not gonna put no gloves on. We're gonna get dirty today, okay? So the soil is very light. If y'all can see, it's very light. Okay, so that's what we're gonna use for these. And then again, we're gonna use perlite to add some more. We make a mess, we're gonna clean it up later. Okay. But this reminds me of Oreo mix. Perlite and soil reminds me of the Oreo mix. When you mix it like an Oreo cake, and it has the black and the white with the Oreos in there. That's what it reminds me of. Now, they say that blueberries like acidic soil, which means that right now, you know, for my area, it's still cold. So I'm not going to, I just want to get them planted because some plants I had for a few weeks. They're dormant, but I want to get them somewhat established. So that way when things kind of not really warm up, but warm up a little bit. Not extreme, but to where they're not really freezing, not having ice. I can probably put them outside right now, you know, expected to have ice and stuff. So I'm not going to put them outside right now. Okay. So we got that one, probably a half. Okay, maybe a half a bag. And then this bag I paid, it was $11. And it's 2 cubic feet of soil, which I was able to fill up. Hold on, I'm trying to find a way to get around. I was able to fill up a raised bed with 2 cubic feet. Okay. Now, I know y'all probably can't see much right now, but we're going to use this soil either way. Okay. Because I still have to do my seed starting, which will be on another video. So I think basically I use maybe a half a bag. All right. Use a half a bag. Now that we have our potted mix, our cocoa core in there, we're going to add our perlite. And again, perlite just gives it additional aeration. That way your plants are not sitting in waterlogged soil. Okay. It's the reason why I use perlite. It has some perlite in here, but we're going to add some more perlite. Okay. So I think the soil will be enough to, I hope, because we have 3 in the fridge. They're wrapped up. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 plants we have to plant. Okay. So this should be enough. If not, we'll make more. All right. So, and we're planting in 20 gallon, 20 gallon grow bags. I think it's best to, if possible, to plant in a good size grow bag. All right, so That's probably about a half a bag. Still got another bag left. And then I'm gonna bring y'all so y'all can see what it looks like. Okay. So these are the different soils we have in there. So that's what it looks like right now. Cocoa core, potting mix, and perlite in each one. All right. Okay. So we're gonna mix that up real good. And then I think we could get the products up that we gonna plant. And I'll show y'all once it's all mixed up what it's gonna look like as well. So we're just gonna mix that up real good. All right, y'all, we are back. So this is what I mean, not the Oreo mixture. It kind of reminds me of shredded Oreos. And that's both sides, okay? So this one I'm 90% happy with. This one I'm 100% happy with. And it's just because I'm tired, y'all. This was a lot of work. I'll be honest. Mixing this soil up, you have to put in some work. So basically what this is called is amending the soil.